welcome to 5 Minutes, your fast track to smarter insurance technology and stronger leadership. In the next 5 minutes, we're going to show you a better way to lead, scale, and innovate without the chaos. Let's get into it. Robert Silva, thank you so much for joining me here. Another episode of 5 Minutes here at our Harvard Symposium 2025. How's your day going so far at the conference?
It's going great. Very interesting conference. I've met a lot of really great, interesting people and participated in a panel earlier today. So
awesome.
Yeah. It's a great time here.
Yeah, good conversations, great opportunity to reconnect and see what new is going on out there. I ask a question to all of my guests because there's usually a fascinating story behind how they got into insurance. So I'll ask you that question. Like, what prompted you to come into this industry?
Well, I like acting a lot, and in the Bureau of Labor Statistics Handbook, the word actuary immediately follows the word actor. And I thought I could make a lot more money being an actuary than an actor, probably. So that's the way I went. The story's kind of like that.
Right.
A friend of mine became an actuary at one point and said, "This is a really cool job. I think you might like it." And I looked into it, and I did. So I started working at MetLife Auto and Home about 20 years ago from college fundraising. And I managed to convince them how college fundraising had a lot to do with actuarial work and pricing.
Right.
And they hired me. So
I've got to ask you a question that I hadn't contemplated before because this is kind of interesting. When I think of actuarial sciences, I think of perhaps a very rigid structure that's kind of somewhat binary. It's like it's a kind of very, kind of just empirical type of dynamic. And then you say that you have a passion for theater, which I classify as art. And then I'm thinking about the confluence of those two things. How does that show up in your work as an actuary?
I think being able to communicate very complicated ideas in a clear manner is really important for being an actuary. So I think that skill comes through a lot and has enabled me to succeed because I can look at data, I can look at models, and then I can turn them into a story that actually works with other non-actuarial audiences. Yeah,
that's fantastic. I love that. I love that, and I'm sure you've heard all the jokes about talking to actuaries. And
I know. Yeah. A lot of us are actually very, very interesting.
I love it. So with that, tell me what interesting things you guys are doing at Zesty.
Yeah, we're working on a non-weather water model right now. We call it Z-Water. We're known for working with aerial imagery in order to produce risk models that are very climate related. So we started with Z-Fire several years ago, and we've built out a hail model and a wind model. And then we also offer all the kind of background data that goes into those models. So this is our first foray into thinking about what goes on inside of a house. This is one of the most significant perils that insurers face. And we're really building models that work our way right down the whole peril stack. So if they're important or a mystery to our customers and other insurance carriers that are yet to be customers, that those are the models that we're building to try to give them solutions to those problems.
So when you talk about water inside the home, my head immediately goes to IoT. Am I in the right place, or is there a different dynamic that you're looking at?
That's a very important aspect of this. So you're thinking of like water sensors and deploying those in houses. It's not really a model driven by that. But what it does is it's a segmentation model that will give you 100 different segments that have increasing non-weather water loss risk. And one really interesting use of the model is to help carriers decide which policies should be required to deploy a water sensor in their house in order to deal with non-weather water losses. So if the property scores very low, it might be kind of a waste of money to put a water sensor in there. And insurance carriers are very sensitive to how much it costs to collect data, to mitigate risk. All of these things are just as important as the cost of the losses themselves.
Thank you for joining this episode of 5 Minutes. If you've enjoyed our discussion, we'd love for you to share it with anyone else you think might find it interesting. Also, please subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're listening on and hit that bell to stay on top of the game with our practical 5-minute episodes. We look forward to seeing you again next week.